Greetings, friend of karmic affinity. Have you ever wondered why, standing under the same rain, one person feels cold and sad, while another feels cleansed and peaceful? Why, facing the same difficulty, one person sees a dead end while another sees a new door opening? The difference does not lie in external circumstances. It resides entirely within the house of consciousness in each of us. The Buddha once taught that the mind is the greatest artist. It has the power to paint heaven, and it can also create hell with its own hands, right in the middle of this world. We often tirelessly chase happiness and balance in faraway places, inadvertently forgetting that the master key lies right within our own thoughts. Your life is an exact mirror reflecting what is happening inside you. Today, I invite you to set aside the noise of the world. Sit very still. Take a deep breath, and join me on a journey to explore 7 profound lessons of wisdom about the power of the mind. This is the path for you to transform suffering, reclaim mastery, and awaken the inherent energy of peace. Lesson 1. Thoughts are the seeds of reality. Let us begin this journey with the first lesson, the lesson about the origin of all existence in life. Try to close your eyes and imagine your mind as a fertile and vast garden. That soil of consciousness is perfectly fair. It does not judge the seeds you sow as good or bad. It only silently accepts and nourishes them all. Every thought that arises in your head, whether a fleeting anxiety or a small joy, is a seed. In the Noble Eightfold Path, the Buddha calls this right thought, sammasankappa. He taught that the mind leads all phenomena. Thoughts will turn into words. Words lead to actions, and repeated actions will weave the tapestry of your life's destiny. If you sow the seeds of fear and envy, you will harvest a garden full of the weeds of insecurity. But if you sow seeds of compassion and gratitude, the fragrant flowers and sweet fruits of happiness will automatically sprout and rise. Right now, try to observe which seeds you are watering inside yourself. Mindfulness is the diligent gardener who helps you identify and select. Engrave this message in your heart. Nourish your mind with thoughts you truly want to live with, because the garden of your consciousness today will become your real life tomorrow. Lesson 2. Vigilantly. Guard the gates of the mind. Once we understand the creative power of thought, we move to the second lesson, which is extremely urgent in this digital age. Vigilantly guard the gates of the mind. My dear friend, imagine your soul as a sacred and pure temple. For a temple to maintain its solemnity, it cannot leave its doors wide open for trash, dust, or troublemakers to enter and exit freely. Yet, in daily life, we often unintentionally let our senses wide open without control, receiving every chaotic stream of information from the outside world, polluting our inherent peace. Look back at a very common habit many of us have. Late at night, when the body is exhausted and longing for rest, your hands still unconsciously scroll through the phone screen. You let your mind eat. Sensational news, useless arguments on social networks, or glamorous images that breed envy. Even if you don't intend it, those negative energies silently creep into your subconscious, disturbing your sleep and sowing seeds of anxiety and fatigue the next morning. That is when you have forgotten to close the door to the temple of your soul. The Buddha taught about the restraint of the senses, which means being selective about what we look at, listen to, and come into contact with. Food for the mind is as important as food for the body. If you ingest poison, you will get sick. Therefore, practice wise selection starting today. Instead of immersing yourself in the noise of the virtual world, spend time connecting with the silence of nature, watching a flower bloom, or listening to birdsong. Instead of gossip, nourish the mind with pages written by sages, with verses from the Dhammapada, or deep conversations with wholesome friends. When you proactively control the input, you will see the garden of your mind gradually become clear and tranquil. Remember, you have the right to refuse anything that does not bring peace, because protecting the mind is the most practical act of self-love. Lesson 3. Escaping the automatic thought mode. My dear friend, try to look at yourself honestly in the most ordinary moments. How many times have you uttered sharp words in anger, only to feel overwhelmed by a late sense of regret in your heart? How many times have you let external circumstances pull the strings of your emotions like an unconscious puppet? If someone praises us, we are happy. If someone criticizes, we are sad. If we encounter something unpleasant, we immediately resist. We often live our lives on autopilot. We react according to old habits, following pre-existing programming from the past without the light of awareness. It is this mechanical and unmindful reaction that is the invisible prison confining your freedom and peace. But the good news is that the key to opening that prison door is in your hands. Between a stimulus and your response, there is always a sacred space. That is where your power to choose resides. To enter that powerful space, you only need to practice these 3 simple steps. Stop, breathe, and observe. Next time, when a storm of emotion hits, please do not act immediately on instinct. Press the pause button. Take a deep breath to anchor yourself in the solid present, and take a step back to observe the anger or fear happening inside you, as if watching a black cloud passing through the sky. You observe it, but you are not it. When you separate yourself from the emotion, you shift from a passive reaction state to an active choice state. You have the right to choose calmness instead of temper, understanding instead of blame. That is the moment you truly grow up and reclaim the mastery of your life from the hands of unconscious habits. Lesson 4. Reframe challenges as wisdom. Once we have learned to stop before unconscious reactions, let us move to the 4th lesson. A beautiful art of living for practitioners, changing perspectives to transform suffering into wisdom. My dear friend, life is not always spread with roses or as peaceful as an autumn river. There will be times when storms arrive, and you face failure, loss, or adversity. The common human reaction is resistance, resentment, and asking why it is me. Why destiny is so unfair to me. But it is that victim mentality that drains your strength, turning pain into a prison for the soul. Instead, try changing the question once. Don't ask why. Ask what lesson this challenge has come to teach me. The Buddha taught that suffering is the greatest teacher. Look at Zen masters sitting in meditation. They do not flee from physical discomfort. They use it to train their equanimity. Look at the fire that melts gold ore. The fire does not come to destroy. It comes to remove impurities and reveal the most brilliant nature of pure gold. Similarly, without mud, there is no fragrant lotus. Without pressure and stumbles, there would be no maturity and depth in your soul. When you view difficulties as an opportunity to hone patience, tolerance, and will, you will no longer fear them. You will welcome all upheavals of life with a steady and serene mindset, knowing that after the rain comes the sun, and after the challenges, you will become a more complete, wiser version of yourself. Practice seeing the precious gem of wisdom hidden even in the darkest circumstances. Lesson 5. Practicing gratitude as a miracle. We are reaching the emotional heart of this journey. This is the lesson with the power to transform your vibrational frequency fastest and strongest. Practicing gratitude every day. My dear friend, the root of insecurity often comes from a scarcity mindset. We always long for what we don't have and inadvertently forget what we already possess. We think happiness lies in a bigger house, a better car, or a higher position. That endless craving creates a void in the soul. But gratitude will gently pull you back to reality, helping you realize how rich you already are. Gratitude does not need to be for great or distant things. Start being grateful for the smallest and most ordinary things, the things we often take for granted. Be grateful for this breath, for it is a sign that you are still alive, still have a chance to love. Be grateful for clear eyes so you can see the blue sky and the faces of loved ones. Be grateful for the warm meal waiting for you, and grateful for the difficulties that helped you become stronger than yesterday. When you focus your energy on gratitude, Your mind will have no space left for comparison, jealousy, or anxiety to crowd in. You cannot feel grateful and fearful at the same time. Gratitude is like a cool stream of water washing away all the dust of greed, revealing the bright gem of inherent sufficiency and peace. Every morning when you wake up, instead of rushing into worries, spend a few minutes naming 3 things you feel grateful for. You will see how life suddenly becomes gentle and lovely. Lesson 6. Visualization and returning to the true self. Once gratitude has filled the soul with positive energy from the present, the 6th lesson will give you the tool to direct that energy to create the future. That is the power of visualization. My dear friend, in Buddhism, there is a concept called bhavana, meaning cultivation or practice of the mind. Visualization here is not about sitting in idle daydreams about material treasures or vain fame to satisfy greed. It is a serious practice to plant and nourish the good qualities you want to have in your consciousness. Today, try practicing this exercise with me. Find a comfortable position, gently close your eyes, and take a deep breath. I want you to visualize the best version of yourself that you have always longed to become. Please do not just see the glamorous appearance. Go deep into feeling the energy of that person. Imagine you are standing before a storm of life, perhaps a huge work pressure or a fierce family conflict. But instead of reacting with anxiety, fear, or anger like the old person, see what your best version is doing. That person is standing firm like a mountain. Their breath is slow and deep. Their gaze exudes calmness and wisdom. Feel that serenity spreading through every cell of your body right now. Visualize how you treat those around you. You see yourself listening with full compassion. You speak loving words capable of healing wounds. You are no longer swept away by petty arguments, but always keep a tolerant smile on your lips. How wonderful it feels to be master of yourself, not being pulled by external strings. Let that feeling of freedom and silent pride saturate your heart. You might wonder if this is pretending. The answer is no. You are not trying to become someone else. You are practicing to return to your truest nature. Buddhism teaches that each of us has Buddha nature, the seed of enlightenment, love, and infinite wisdom already inside. Daily anxiety and anger are just a layer of dust covering the outside. When you visualize calmness and compassion, you are wiping away that dust so the light inside can shine. You are trying on the robe of enlightenment every day until it becomes your actual skin. Don't wait until everything is perfect to allow yourself to feel peace. Feel that state right now. When the vibrational frequency inside you changes, the outside world will automatically rearrange itself to match your new self. That is how we sow the seeds of the future in the present moment. Lesson 7. Cultivate self-compassion. Finally, for this transformation journey to be complete and sustainable, we need to touch the 7th lesson, the most sacred reconciliation, cultivating self-compassion. My dear friend, on the path of change and self-development, it is inevitable that you will stumble. There will be days when old negative habits return, when sudden anger flares up, or when you feel weak and not good enough. In those dark moments, our natural reflex is often to turn to self-criticism and judgment. We torment ourselves with harsh words we would never dare say to others. That harshness does not help you get better. It only leaves your soul more wounded, fearful, and shrunken. Instead of being your own heartless judge, I invite you to try another approach. Treat yourself as you would treat a soulmate or a child learning to walk. When the child falls, you don't scold them. You reach out to help them up, brush off the dust, and encourage them to keep going. Your soul needs the exact same gentle support. The Buddha taught about metta, or loving kindness, unconditional love and the wish for beings to be well. And the first, most important person deserving of that cool stream of loving kindness is none other than you. You cannot pour water to offer others from an empty cup. You cannot truly love life if inside you is a battlefield of self-hatred. Practice self-forgiveness. Understand that you are a human being, and as a human, no one is perfect. You are on a journey of learning and perfecting, which means you are allowed to make mistakes. Past mistakes are not a life sentence defining who you are. In the philosophy of non-self, the you of today is not the you of yesterday. You are a continuously renewing stream. Do not nail yourself to old failures. Forgive yourself to walk forward lightly. Right now, perform a simple yet powerful gesture of love. Gently place your hand on your heart, feeling the warm beat sustaining your life. Take a deep breath and whisper to yourself these words: I forgive my mistakes and imperfections. I accept who I am now with all my strengths and weaknesses. I love and support myself unconditionally. May I be peaceful, healthy, and happy. When you know how to be a friend to yourself, you will have the firmest anchor in the world. Even if there are storms outside, even if others may not understand you, if you know how to return and embrace your own pain, you will never feel alone. Inner peace stems from ending the Cold War with yourself. When you are soft with yourself, you will see the whole world suddenly become much gentler with you. Let compassion heal all wounds and bring you back to your inherent wholeness. That is the most precious gift you can give to your life. My dear friend, today's exploratory journey concludes here. Always engrave in your heart that your mind is a sacred garden, and you are the only gardener with the power to decide its beauty. You have the right to choose to plant seeds of fragrant flowers and sweet fruits, or to let it go and allow the weeds of anxiety to invade. What you pay attention to will grow. What you water every day will bloom. Please remember that every present moment is a fresh, new opportunity to start over. Don't torment yourself about the past. Start right from this breath. Choose to see the good, choose peace, and choose love as the compass for every action. If these insights bring you positive inspiration, please help me spread them further by clicking the like and subscribe buttons so we can continue to accompany each other on the path of awakening. Share this video with those you love as a meaningful spiritual gift to practice together. May the garden of your mind always be lush, peaceful, and full of the fruits of happiness. Goodbye, and see you in the next videos.